And I'm sorry, if you talk about tolerance, I get so tired of hearing people talk about tolerance, but then I hear people talking about blasphemers. I should be allowed to blaspheme all I want, because ridicule is an important part of inquiry and discussion. Sometimes ridiculing something illuminates it. And I hear about blasphemers, I hate to say it, and this may be a complete misapplication of Islam. It could be that Islam, as it's practiced in many countries in the world, is a misapplication of Islam. But all I can see is intolerance when I see those principles applied. Intolerance to blasphemers, intolerance to homosexuals, intolerance in general. Now, the other thing I want to say is, this God, if we ask what's sensible, why would we think that this unproven God that is supposed to be the basis of not just Islam, but all religions, different gods, different characteristics, but the Islamic God, much like the Judeo-Christian God, is a real creep. This is a God worse than Saddam Hussein. Instead of torturing you just for your life, tortures you for infinity, forgive me the word, but eternity, let me use that word. Eternity for not believing. For not believing, you're tortured for infinity. The tortures are actually described in the Quran, and you know it as well as I do. And the point is, if you just ask yourself common sense, if you were a divine being, say you had an ant colony that you made in your house, would you be offended if those ants didn't pay homage to you well, let's start with 50 times a day before Muhammad cut it down to 30 and then 5. Would you be offended if those ants didn't pay homage to you 5 times a day? And if they didn't look up to you or didn't recognize your existence, would you destroy them? No, I mean, it just seems so petty. So why should we believe in a hateful, unmerciful, petty, sadomasochistic, homophobic, sexist God? It's just irrational. It's not sensible. There's nothing. And the point is, and I don't want to single out Islam here. And I know I'm offending some people, but the same is true for the God of Moses. Okay? If you really believe that the scriptures were literally true, the morals in that book are reprehensible. It's okay when an angels appear to do a lot of things, including coming down and making revelations to Muhammad, which Muhammad didn't write down. As far as I know, the first example of the Quran was 20 years after he died, so there was a lot of talk. And some of that talk got turned into perfect writing well after Muhammad was dead. But those angels come down. But in this case, in the case of course, Lot, as you know, the angels came down, and they were men. They came in the form of men, which I don't think is allowed in certain versions of the Quran, at least. But anyway, they did. And then they were going to be raped. So what did Lot do? Of course, he said, don't rape them, take my daughters. Because daughters are dispensable. What kind of moral lesson is that you want to learn? Okay? Now, I'm sorry, that's in the Bible. Actually, that's from my religion. Okay, or my ancestors' religion. I have none. Okay, so those are the kind of moral lessons that I find not sensible. And so I'm happy I picked the Old Testament and not the Quran to talk about immoral intolerance. The idea of punishing people for eternity for choosing to find something unlikely is not tolerant. The idea of punishing them in vicious, evil, ugly ways for all eternity is not merciful. It is the opposite of rational common sense. There's nothing unique about it. You keep pretending Islam is unique, and I don't see it.
Can we deal with a point at a time?
Okay. Yeah,
okay,
but you throw these things out.
We believe Islam is not unique.
If I don't challenge them, then they'll sound
we don't believe Islam is unique. We believe it's a universal message. I believe it's the one true God. Don't enslave yourself to your ego and your desires and the beast aspects of man, or to the social pressure, loyal because I'm worth it. So but free yourself from these shackles and worship the divine, which gives you true freedom. Because if you want real liberty, interestingly, the word ruh in the Arabic language means soul or self. And it comes from the triliteral stem.
Soul or self, which one?
Both, in different contexts, okay? We just be nuanced, okay? Yeah. Not reductionist. So
what's a soul? You want to tell me what a soul is?
Well, when you die, you'll find out. Let me just get my point. Let me make my point.
That's a really bad explanation.
Well, come on.
Because it gives me something I can't test.
Listen, I'm the Greek. I'm supposed to be full of sophistry and rhetoric here.
Well, you are, but that's true. Okay.
The point I'm trying to say is that the word ruh etymologically shares the same meaning with the word raha, which means liberty and serenity. And interestingly, we all want to seek this type of liberty, but the irony is, from an existential perspective, what does it mean to exist? Who am I? We're all in a state of slavery because your birth, sir, your birth, madam, is just like the American writer once wrote, we're born and then we're sold into slavery. You never chose your birth.
Well, it was Rousseau who said that. Man is born free and lives forever.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well done. Good. So let me get poetic here. Yeah.
Okay.
So the point is, we don't choose our birth. I didn't choose I was going to be Greek looking like a Pakistani. You never chose that.
If you shaved, you wouldn't look so Pakistani.
Well, I'm growing my hair just like yours.
Okay.
So,
it's true.
It's nice.
That's right.
So the thing I'm trying to say.
Your hair, by the way.
Thank you. We're becoming friends now. Yeah. So the point I'm trying to say is, look, let's be nuanced about some of the narratives from religion. Like, in essence, that's how, you have to empathize and see the filters that the Muslim will use. And that's why a Muslim woman who may cover her hair, a Muslim man who may grow a beard, these are not reasons because it's like this kind of ridiculous type of blind slavery. We really understand that the only way to free yourself from the shackles of the ephemeral nature of social pressure, because we're social animals, of the very fact that you didn't choose your birth or your ethnicity or even your own gender, you free yourself from these shackles by what we call ubudiyya, a servanthood to the divine reality. But
the question I want to ask is it sensible? So why is it sensible for a woman to be covered up and not a man?
Well, I am covered.
No, you're not covered up. You're not covered up.
You're
not put in a bag like some of the people back there.
Well, it's not really a bag.
No, it is.
Yeah?
As far as I'm concerned, it is.
Okay, look, that's a different question. I'm not going to get into the moral judgments of certain traditions because at the end of the day,
and by the way, they're all only Islamic. I mean, if you want me to offend other religions, I'm happy.
No, I'm not saying that, Kraus, but someone who is rationalizing incest doesn't have no more high ground to point the finger at Muslim women. I mean, and the other point. No, but let me finish.
I explained why.
Let me complete the sentence. I'm sure it wouldn't go ad infinitum.
Okay.
Let me make my point.
Well, we could go ad infinitum because it could last an infinite amount of time. It's
potentially. So, not actually.
Will you agree?
Potentially, yeah, but not actually. That was my point, which you misunderstood. So the point I'm trying to say, Professor Kraus, is that these pointing the finger at other traditions, where is your ontological basis for an objective moral value like this?
Well, in fact...
Is it objectively wrong that she's wearing a bag?
What?
Is it objectively morally wrong? And how is it objectively morally
wrong? I asked if it's sensible.
Okay, is it sensible?
Okay. And so my question to you is, it seems to me that given the fact that I happen to view women and men as, we have differences, inherent genetic differences.
Of course, yes.
But in every other sense, we're equal human beings. And in fact, in many senses, as you know, there are advantages and disadvantages.
We don't disagree with that.
So I do not see any reason to treat women differently than men. It doesn't make sense to me. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, fair enough. Good.
Okay.
So the point is, when we make moral judgments, I know you use the word sensible, but other times you make moral judgments.
I don't talk, unlike you, I don't talk about morals because I try, in this sense, the question before us was not, is atheism moral or is Islam moral? It's, is it sensible? And when people act...
So why have you spent 25 minutes pointing the finger and making moral judgments rather than trying to deal with my argument?
I didn't make a moral judgment about your misinterpretation of whether infinity is allowed in physics. I didn't make a moral judgment.
I never said that.
I made a factual
I never said
judgment.
that. I said it makes sense in physics because you need the mathematics to correspond to physical reality. I don't disagree with that. I am saying...
So you need the mathematics to correspond to physical reality. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, of course you do. According to
physical
physics.
reality can allow for infinity.
According to what... I learned a lot from your book, actually. It was quite interesting. You said, even in your book, I think it was page 81, you said that essentially, there's the maths, and I need to improve my physics to ensure it's in line with the math. And interestingly...
No, I need to improve my math to ensure it's in line with reality.
Okay, good. So what is...
the evidence of experiment.
Yes, good.
So if my math doesn't agree with the evidence of experiment, then I change my math.
And that's why I think, and I don't want to build a straw man, you made a conclusion in your book, you said, this is why you can't have an infinite anything.
No.
You said that.
You show me where I can't have an infinite anything.
Yeah.
Did I talk about infinite energy density?
Let me
talk about whether the universe might be infinite?
Let me find it for you.
And by the way, if I did, I was wrong.
One second. That's honourable. That is honourable.
That to me is the worst kind. That's
honourable. No, that is honourable. I admit.
Offensive about these arguments is you quote people as if what they say matters. But the great thing about science is there are no authorities.
I agree.
There are no scientific authorities. Everyone can be wrong, and we all are.
That is honourable. That is honourable. I have to.
People who claim to be, including Benedict, before he stopped being Pope.
Yeah, 1 second. 1 second. Just bear with me. He wanted it here. It's here somewhere.
No, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, peace. This is good. This is good. Okay, so here we go. Infinity is not a pleasant quantity, however, at least as far as physicists are concerned, and we try to avoid it whenever possible. Clearly, the energy of empty space or anything else for that matter cannot be physically infinite.
The energy of anything.
No. You said.
Sorry.
Or anything else for that matter.
The energy of anything cannot be physically infinite.
Where's that there?
The energy of empty space or the energy of anything else.
You're reading another book now.
I wrote that. Well, Mohammed may not be here to talk about the Quran, but I'm here to talk about my book.
And you don't even know your own book.
And my book says, I repeat.
Yes, do that.
I repeat. Maybe I should change it into Arabic so you understand it. But the point is, the energy of empty space or the energy of anything else cannot be infinite.
Oh, okay, fair
That's
enough.
what I said.
Okay, good. So really, it's suggestive of my point.
No.
Sorry.
It didn't say space cannot be infinite.
Did you get this signed, by the way?
It didn't say space. It didn't say space cannot be infinite or time cannot be infinite.
Good.
Because they perfectly well can.
Okay, good. But there's another point you made. Wait. The other point is...
you're making a big mistake to try and talk...
No, I'm not.
You'll be happy to show me what you said if I misquote you.
Listen, okay. Professor Kras, I can only read your words when you say, or anything else for that matter, means or anything else. But I know I shouldn't have...
Was that paragraph about energy?
Yeah, but...
Okay, just ask me.
Oh, so there's a context now. But when it comes to religion, there is no context.
No, there is.
But when it comes to physics, there's a context.
No, I talked to you about the fact that different interpretations lead...
Fair enough. I agree. I agree.
People have interpreted the Quran incorrectly.
I agree, Professor Krauss. But listen to this. What you have to understand is this.